Beautiful people. What is up, guys? Hello, man. Welcome to the Friday stream. Normally we're not here on Fridays, but I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. We need to talk about something. We need to talk about the temptation of rumination. I came up with that myself, right? It's catchy. It's catchy. This music's a little loud. It's catchy, isn't it? Let's see. How's everybody doing? What's up, Ghost? What's up, Gamer? What's up, Kate? What is up, Prince? Luis? Big excitement right now for Kate and her new PC, man. Big excitement. Steph, what is up? What is up, Steph? The temptation of rumination. I'm still proud of that one. That's catchy. That's catchy. We're going to talk about it, guys. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Welcome. Edward, what is up, dude? I don't know how I missed you. What is up, Edward? I see your comment up there now. But welcome, guys. Welcome. We're going to get this one started in just a minute. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. DC, what is up, dude? Jennifer, what is up? We're almost at 900 over on TikTok. Thank you guys for that. Can't wait to start going live over there. If you're new here, welcome. So really quick, just because we've had a recent uprising in subscribers, I want to go over the basic formula of how the streams work very briefly. So we do our pre-streams here where we just kind of hang out, chat for a second. We get into the point of the stream, and then the point of the stream is usually over within 20 minutes or less. Sometimes it drags on a bit longer. But yeah, the reason I wanted to make that known is because I don't want anyone to feel intimidated by how long the streams are. So if you are new here, if you're one of our new people just joining us, understand that the topic of the streams is usually tackled within 20 minutes. The rest of the stream, we hang out, we answer questions, we joke around, and just have fun and chat. So yeah, if you're new here, do not be intimidated by the hour-long streams. So pumped for this topic. It's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about it. All right, let's see. I feel like we've got enough people in here to go ahead and get started, honestly. You know what? Yeah. Actually, let's go ahead and get started. What do you guys say? What do you think? What do you think? All right, guys. The temptation of rumination. Get that music out of there. There we go. Let's jump right into this one, man. The temptation of rumination. So the very first thing that I want to say in this stream, before we even talk about the title there, is understand that a lot of people, what's up, Meat Gorilla? Yes, your trademark comment, your trademark hello comment. Understand that a lot of people, and this is what you're about to hear is crucial. A lot of people think, okay, that they are experiencing and suffering from intrusive thoughts 24 hours a day. If you ask somebody, how often do you suffer from intrusive thoughts? They're going to tell you probably 24 hours a day. Where they're going wrong and where this is a very harmful mindset is when they have the mindset of, oh, I'm suffering intrusive thoughts 24 hours a day, is there is no accountability for the fact that probably 90 to 80% of that is not actually intrusive thoughts, it's just rumination. So let's get into that because I know I just probably confused a bunch of people, but I can make that very clear for you. So here's what happens, and I want to see a show of hands. Let's get chat to participate tonight. I want to see a show of hands. How many people have followed an intrusive thought? So let's say the intrusive thought comes in. Now, intrusive thoughts are thoughts that come in. They happen within seconds. They're involuntary. You don't want them, and they happen within seconds. How many people in chat can honestly raise their hands? I can raise both of my hands in my past, right? How many people can raise their hands and say that they've had an intrusive thought that, let's just give an example, something bad is going to happen. The intrusive thought comes in, whatever it is, apply it to your thoughts, and then you spend the rest of the day even, or half the day, or the next 2 hours up in your head going through that mental scenario over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? How many people can say they've done that? They've had an intrusive thought, and then they spend the rest of the day, half the day, going through that mental scenario over and over again. They are following that thought mentally, trying to argue with it, figure it out, solve it, fix it, etc., right? Here's the problem with that. People are then blaming their intrusive thoughts. They're saying, I'm experiencing 24 hours of intrusive thoughts. No, you're not. You are experiencing your own bad habit of rumination. And if you blame your mind and say, I'm experiencing 24 hours of intrusive thoughts, that is extremely harmful. And the reason it is extremely harmful is because then you cannot hold yourself accountable for your rumination, which is one of the two main keys. So if you can't hold yourself accountable for your rumination, it's going to be very difficult. So that is why that's harmful. When people blame their mind and say, Wonder Bro, I experience 24/7 intrusive thoughts, when people blame their mind and they're not taking accountability and responsibility for the rumination that they're attaching to that, right? That is very harmful, because then they think there's nothing I can do about this. Then they think it's my mind's fault. I just have a ton of intrusive thoughts. 90% of that's probably rumination, right? So the thought comes in, something bad's going to happen, or it's a thought about your feelings, whatever, and you follow that down the rabbit hole, which means you get involved with it. You mentally start rehearsing and getting upstairs about it and fighting with it and arguing with it. That is the problem. But when you blame your mind for that, now we can't work on it. We can't work on it because you think there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, 90% of that's rumination, right? So with that being said, we're going to get into the actual topic of this stream, which is the temptation to ruminate. You right? The temptation of rumination. So back to our earlier example. Let's say you get that intrusive thought that says something bad is going to happen. Again, apply this to whatever your intrusive thought is. I'm just using an example. But you get that intrusive thought, something bad is going to happen. You are going to experience in that very moment a strong, almost physical pull, right, to get involved and follow that thought down the mental rabbit hole. If you do not, in that moment, use your accepting inner voice, your non-engagement statement, it's the same thing, whatever you want to call it. If you do not say, oh, there's that obsession again, but it is what it is, I'm not going to follow that, right? If you don't do that in that moment, and you don't, and I know I'm going to use the word fight, which we normally don't do, but I'll give it a pass this time. If you don't fight the temptation to follow that intrusive thought and obsess over it and compulse over it and use all of these mental bad habits, if you don't fight that temptation in that moment and just say, you know what, there's that obsession, it is what it is, or whatever you want to tell yourself, right, and don't follow that temptation. It's very tempting. Down that rabbit hole, if you don't do that, it turns into, right, 15 minutes of rumination, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, days, weeks, months, years, right? At some point, this habit of rumination just really gets out of hand. Now, I'm not saying you've got to be perfect and you've got to resist the temptation and never ruminate again in your life. That's unrealistic. But what I'm saying is at some point, we do have to get a hold on this. So anyway, I don't want to get too off track. This stream, I want to mostly focus on how tempting it is, just to put it into perspective. When you experience these intrusive thoughts, they are going to, seem very, very important, right? Very, very important. My problem is that by the time I find an accepting inner voice that actually grounds me, I'm already deep into the hole and I've created even more worries. You'll get better at resisting the temptation in time, but you got to be dedicated. Where was I? I've done forgot. Shit. I shouldn't have read that. I always save my comments for afterwards. That's my bad. Anyway, sometimes I see comments that just grab my attention. So we're just going to start over, and maybe I'll find that train of thought again. So the temptation is going to be very strong. It is going to be very intense in that moment. You're probably going to feel a ton of anxiety, or maybe at least somewhat level of anxiety, right? The temptation is basically going to be begging you. You're going to think, okay, I picked my train of thought back up. You're going to be thinking that it is very, very important that you follow up with that intrusive thought, because it means something dangerous is going to happen if you don't. You are again, going to feel the physical symptoms that come along with being tempted to follow that intrusive thought, which is another big bluff. A lot of people are following the intrusive thoughts down the rabbit hole and fighting with them because of the way the intrusive thoughts make them feel. So if it makes me feel this bad, then it must be that bad, and I need to follow this and get to the bottom of it. So that's another reason why the temptation is just so ungodly strong at times. And it is habit. It is habit. You have probably spent your entire life, or a majority of your entire life, following every single intrusive thought down the mental rabbit hole and never stopping, right? So there's multiple reasons why the temptation is so damn strong, and I don't want you guys to underestimate how strong that is, because when people underestimate how strong the temptation is, when they get into the moment, they are taken off guard, they are blindsided, and they start to ruminate, right? So I want you to understand what you're up against. I want you to understand that as you really start to practice this, and again, there's probably a lot of people here who have watched my streams for a long time who are still not really doing a ton of mental work. So I want you to understand what you are up against. I want you to understand that when you are caught off guard in those moments and those intrusives come, they're going to have a very strong pull to them. They're going to make you anxious. You're going to be very tempted. You're going to think to yourself, if I don't ruminate on this, I'll never get to the bottom of it. It could be dangerous. You're going to be faced with all of this great temptation, because at the end of the day, let's face it, rumination, is the direct cause of what landed you in the sensitized boat, and it is what's keep your nerves on edge, because when you ruminate all day long, that is very, taxing to the nervous nervous system. So let's face it, at the end of the day, what you're really up against is your addiction. You are up against your own bad habits. You're not up against a monster. You're not up against some sort of beast. There's nothing attacking you. What you're really up against at the end of the day, no matter how hard it is, you are up against your own habit. You are up against your own addiction, because at this point it is no longer a habit. It is full-blown addiction, right? So the temptation that you are going to experience in those moments when you are tempted to ruminate over your passing thoughts or even feelings or life situations, this applies to all of the above. The temptation that you're going to feel in those moments is going to be pretty ungodly strong, right? And the reason I say that is to not try to be negative or a Debbie Downer. I just want you to know what you are up against. A lot of people not doing the work, they're not stopping themselves from ruminating and just facing those thoughts with the non-engagement sort of inner voice and not following those thoughts. They're not doing that because it just feels too difficult to do. It feels too hard. They think to themselves, oh, if it takes this much effort, then I guess I'm doing something wrong. No, recovery takes effort, right? And I'm not saying that to try to sound sarcastic. It's just, no, there's literally a ton of people out there who think, if it takes this much effort to correct my mental habits and stop ruminating, then surely I'm doing something wrong. No, it's supposed to take that much effort, right? You got to hold yourself accountable. So again, no sarcasm there. There's actually a lot of people who believe because it's taking so much effort to correct their mental habits, they're doing something wrong. No, it is supposed to take effort to correct your mental habits, right? So again, we're back off track. The temptation to ruminate is so strong because it comes with so many feelings, and it comes with a level of uncertainty, and it comes with addiction. It comes with addiction. DPDR is absolutely a symptom of anxiety. It comes with addiction, and just to kind of drive home the point of how strong this addiction is, this is probably something that you have done since the beginning of time. You have probably always been a person who ruminates. Let's show of hands in chat again. I'm going to raise both. How many of you have just had a strong addiction of rumination throughout your entire life? I want you to think back for a second to your life before sensitization. You have probably always been a worrier. You have probably always been a person who can't let thoughts just come and go without trying to solve them. You've always been a person who's probably overthought life situations. You've probably always been a person who ruminates on just about anything and everything going on in their life, right? And this is true even before you were sensitized. So before you were sensitized, before you ran into moments where you realized this was a problem and this was getting out of hand and I need to do research and find help, even before we got to the severe stuff, right, you have probably spent your entire life being a person who is addicted to rumination. Overthinking is rumination. Yes, absolutely me. So you've probably always been that person. And if you haven't always been that person, you have picked up the habit at some point and it has become heavily engraved in your life. So maybe you've not always been that person, but at some point you picked up the habit for one reason or another and you have become very addicted to that habit. But my point is, you can't form such an addicting, negative, strong habit and expect that to be broken overnight. You can't form such an addicting, strong habit and expect that it's not going to take any effort to break that habit. You can't expect to be going up against a strong addiction such as rumination, worry, overthinking, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. You can't expect to have such a strong addiction to something that negative and impactful and expect that it's not going to take a ton of work. Right? So, which brings me to my next point. The temptation to do the rumination when you are met with these intrusive thoughts and you're met with these feelings and you're met with these life situations is so strong that you have to be accountable, which we did an entire stream on yesterday. I highly recommend it if you didn't catch it. You have to be accountable. So in those moments, I know it's very tempting to go down the rabbit hole. You feel like if you don't, you are leaving yourself in danger. You feel like if you don't, you're going to miss something. You feel like if you don't, blah, 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 blah. So I understand the temptation is so strong in those moments, and I want you to understand that too so that you can be better prepared to face that temptation. But you've got to hold yourself accountable in those moments too, guys. Anytime you get a passing intrusive thought that says, oh, come to me with all these strong, anxious feelings, and you're so tempted to go down that rabbit hole, and you say, you know what? That's just that obsession again. We're not going there. It is what it is. Guess what? You just scored a point and you are changing your entire life. Now, some people will say that's ridiculous. How can you say just because somebody didn't ruminate one time that they're changing their entire life? If they make that into a habit, if the habit of holding yourself accountable and not giving in to the temptation becomes as strong as a habit of the habit of rumination that you formed, if that becomes an even stronger habit, you will change your entire life. The rest of your life will be entirely different, right? So yes, anytime you get a passing intrusive thought or a feeling or a sticky intrusive thought or a life situation and you feel that literal pull, that temptation to want to ruminate and go down the rabbit hole, and you stop yourself and you say, you know what? I accept that thought, accept that feeling, accept that life situation, but I'm not going to obsess. That's the obsession. It is what it is. I think worrying, we think it keeps us safe. Exactly. Great comment. Anytime you do that, you are scoring a point and you are changing the rest of your life, because once this habit sets in and it becomes a stronger habit than your habit of rumination, you are going to change your entire life. So there's so many things that I could talk about on this topic, but I think some of the most important things is, of course, the title of the stream. The temptation is going to be very strong. It's going to be very overwhelming at times. You're going to be very tempted to want to follow these obsessions, to want to ruminate on them. You're going to be very tempted to follow them down the rabbit hole. Of course, that's one of the most important things of this stream. But just a couple side notes just to kind of wrap this up. It's not exactly going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work and dedication. Recovery takes effort. Okay, there is a certain level of effort that goes into correcting your mental habits. And I think lastly, I just want to say, it's not instant. You're going to feel unsafe doing this. You're going to feel uncomfortable doing this. It's going to go against everything you thought you knew, right? So it's going to feel like unfamiliar territory for you. So those are just some things to really work to look out for when you start working on that main key, which is stop fighting your thoughts and feelings, which basically means stop ruminating. Now, as you're doing that, you continue to live your life. Positive behaviors. It's a part of anxiety to keep us safe. Yes, it only becomes a problem when you follow it, when you go down the rabbit hole. It's a suggestion that you turn into a life or death situation. An intrusive thought is a suggestion from an overly active, tired mind and body in the sensitized state coming from your fight or flight part of your brain. It is a suggestion that is unhelpful, that you pretend it's helpful, and then you go down the rabbit hole and then you get more anxiety. And that is the cycle you must break out of. That is the cycle you absolutely have to break out of at some point. A lot of people watch my streams and have been watching my streams for a while, and I'll tell you the number one difference between the people who make it to the other side and only come in to talk positivity and talk about, their life and how well they're doing, and the people who are still kind of stuck is the fact that they are blaming their mind for the rumination when the rumination is actually their fault and they have to take responsibility for it. That is the number one difference between the people on this side and the people on that side. The people who are there, healed, positive, whatever, and the people who are still stuck, and I can say this with confidence because I was one of those people, the people who are still stuck are in a bad habit of blaming their mind for the rumination, and they've just accepted that they ruminate. You do not accept that you ruminate. You work on the rumination if you want to give your nerves a break. You work on the rumination if you want to heal. Accepting the rumination is a great step, but at some point we got to break the rumination, right? So majority of the people who are not making the progress they think they should be making, and it's been a while for them, are there because they've not yet taken responsibility for their mental habits, the rumination. They are instead blaming it on 24/7 intrusive thoughts. It is not 24/7 intrusive thoughts. It is 24/7 rumination. Okay? I love you guys. I really, really do. And that's why we got to point out hard truths, right? That's why we got to point out hard truths. So understand that the temptation is going to be very strong. You're going to feel very anxious, and this is going to be uncomfortable for you. This is going to be to leave these thoughts alone. When every time you are tempted to worry over a thought, a feeling, or a life situation, and you say, no, I'm not going to obsess over that. I'm not giving into that obsession. It is what it is. And you leave it alone. Congrats. You are changing your life. But every time that you say, oh, it's my mind, it's my mind's fault, it's my mind's fault. No, it's not. The rumination that you attach to these passing thoughts, feelings, life situations, I hate to say it, but it is your fault, right? But that's okay. Because we can work on that. So anytime you're tempted to ruminate, aka worry, it's the same thing. Overthink, right? It's the same thing. Anytime you're tempted to do that over a thought, feeling, or life situation, and you say, no, I accept that thought, feeling, or life situation, there's the obsession, but I'm not getting into the obsession, and you go back to living, even if you have to do that a million times a day, congrats, you are changing your entire life. All right? So that was the point of tonight's stream, you guys. That's what you're up against. You know, this is one of those streams where it's basically just me saying, hey, here's what to expect. I'm here for you. We're going to work on this together. But yes, it takes work. It takes effort. It takes consistency and dedication. You're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to make progress. You don't have to be perfect to heal. But we do need to cut back on the severity of your rumination. All right, you guys. So I love you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning into the stream. If you enjoyed it, toss me a quick thumbs up, man. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps get the channel out there on the algorithm. So thank you for that. And with that being said, I think that's it for this one, guys. Yeah, just thank you for being here. Luis, thank you so much, brother, with the $10 tip. First tip of the stream, guys. We're on a 20-day streak. If you would like to support the stream, link is in the description. Thank you so much. 20-day streak. Luis with the first tip of the stream. Show him some love in the chat, guys. Get those purple hearts rolling. Nothing but good vibes tonight. He says, thank you for this Friday night stream. This is for all of us who really needed this one tonight. Thank you, Luis. I really appreciate that. Show him some love in the chat. I like how you said that. This is for all of us who really needed this one tonight. Hopefully it opens some eyes. Hopefully some eyes are opened and people start to become more accountable for their mental habits. Because again, that is the one thing that I see, right? That is the one side that I see to everyone who's not quite there yet. Now, of course, there's a growing period, and it takes time to heal. It takes time to recover. But if anyone feels like they're stuck, that's probably it. You probably have a lot of work to do on your rumination. So I'm glad we could do this stream tonight. Like I said, I'm normally not here on Friday nights, but I was just like, this is how it works for me. Sometimes I get a topic or an idea for a stream, and I just can't help. I gotta do it. I gotta do it as soon as possible because it just feels so important. People need to hear it. I stopped ruminating by dissecting the positive side of everything. I stopped ruminating by dissecting the positive side. Okay, you're gonna have to elaborate. That's an interesting comment. You stopped ruminating by dissecting, which is technically more rumination. The positive side. Okay, we'll let him elaborate on that. Rick, thank you so much. Rick, we are at 15. Thank you so much. Let's see. Is that going to mess? No, there it is. Fully with another 5. So we just had Fully come in and Rick come in right on top of each other with 2 5s. That takes us to 20 on the tip goal, guys. We're on a 20-day streak. Thank you so much. Holy shit. We're just going to... I guess we're not wasting any time. We're going all the way to the finish line. We're at 30 now. Steph, thank you so much, guys. Purple hearts in the chat. Run it up. Thank you. 20-day streak, you guys. Link is in the description. Wow, that was a lot to take in all within the span of 30 seconds. Rick, Fully, and Steph, and Luis, thank you guys so much. That puts us at 30 on the tip goal. We're flying right through this one. Finding the positive instead of ruminating on negative, I think. Okay, so I'll elaborate on that for just a second. If it's a passing intrusive thought, you don't need to try to find the positives because that will probably slide you into rumination, right? If you're saying just being more of a positive person in general life situations, that's fine. It's good to be a positive person. Anything that keeps you out of the rumination, but just be careful not to try to fight those intrusive thoughts by looking at the positives because you at that point you are ruminating, right? There's no doubt about it. At that point, you are ruminating. It's okay to be a positive person, and I get what you're saying. You're saying I'm not getting my point across the way I want to because it's late and I'm tired. I get it. I'm going to help you out here. It's okay to be a positive person. It's okay to see the positive sides of things going on in your life. If you encounter a real life situation and you look at it with a different perspective, that's great, right? But when it comes to these intrusive thoughts and these feelings, you don't want to have to try to fight that with positivity. You don't want to get into the rumination because that will just turn into rumination. But I get what you're saying. It's okay to be a positive person in life, but we still want to work on the rumination. Donkey, you guys are killing it. One of one says a check. Oh my God. Okay. So let's see, 40, 45, Donkey with the 5 takes us to 45. One of one with the 10 on Cash App takes us to 45. You guys are just absolutely killing it tonight. We are definitely hitting this goal. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry I didn't check Cash App sooner. Normally what happens is because I don't get notifications on screen for the Cash App, I will just check my phone. I didn't tonight because I had my phone flipped over on the wrong side, face down on my desk. So I apologize for that, but thank you so much for the support, dude. We're at 45 on a 20-day streak. Thank you so much. Is exercise, and I know I'm behind on comments, but I'm going to try my hardest here. Sky, thank you for being here. I think you left, though. Appreciate you stopping in. Kate, thank you for the purple hearts. Steph, Rick, Donkey, thank you for the purple hearts. Gamer, thank you for the purple hearts. Let's see. Dang, I caught the stream late. I do have one question. Okay, I got you. I'm a little late, but I got you. I do catch myself already I know this isn't due to my lack of being able to read certain words. I think that's a typo. I do have one question. I do catch myself already something way into compulsions, I think you meant. And I'm assuming the response is the same, right? To just do anything and let it be there. A bit of a language barrier, but I think what you're saying is you catch yourself already doing the rumination. That's great. It's better to catch yourself doing the rumination and correct it than it is to just let it carry on. So don't beat yourself up for already ruminating. Just correct it as soon as possible. I think that's the question there. I hope that helps. Let's see. Donkey, you absolute madman. You absolute madman with another 5. Donkey taking us to 50. Jesus, that was probably one of the quickest tip goals we've ever hit. Thank you guys so much. That takes us to a 21-day streak. Thank you for the purple hearts. Jennifer, Rick, if you're new here, purple hearts represent love and gratitude to our tippers. Without their ongoing support here on the channel, we wouldn't be able to do this full time. So always show all the love to the tippers, man. Thank the tippers from the bottom of your hearts. They help us carry on here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to get caught up. I'm way behind. One of my main temptations for ruminating is thinking about this question's from Steph, is thinking about the things I can't do that still seem too hard. It feels important to worry about fixing that. So this is actually a very good topic. What I see is people want to do exposures, for example. They want to face certain fears, but they ruminate all day long on how they can't do it or how they want to do it or how they can manage to do it. Here's the irony of that. If we focus more on correcting the mental habits and just doing what you can in the moment, naturally you're going to want to do more exposures because you're healing your nerves by working on the rumination. Does that make sense? What happens is, and I'm not saying it's not okay to do exposures when you feel like it. I'm not saying it, you should face your fears and stuff. But we need to fix what's going on up here because you're not going to get the full benefits of your exposures if you're ruminating the whole time. You're not getting any benefits out of the exposures. You're doing the exposure, but you're telling your brain by ruminating the entire time something is wrong. So not only for that reason do we need to work on this, but also the second reason, as your nerves heal from working on the rumination, you're going to naturally want to do more. That's just how it happens. So you actually don't need to figure out this perfect game plan. Work on your mental, live your life the best that you can right now, and as you do the work, you're going to naturally want to do more and more, okay? I'm not saying it still won't be tough when it comes time to do those things, but naturally you're going to want to do them. Naturally you're going to get urges as you heal to do more things, to face more things, right? So work on what's going on up here, live your life the best that you can, and if you are doing exposures, make sure you're still doing that mental work, right? But you do not need to sit and ruminate about how you haven't done this yet or need to do this, or rumination's hurting your nerves, which is making you less likely to ever do those things. That's the irony. That's the irony, right? Is exercise something yoga is a coping method or positive behavior? It depends on your intent. If you're doing exercise, wanting the feelings to go away and you're ruminating about them while you're exercising, it's doing you more harm than good. If you're doing yoga and your intent is, oh my God, please, yoga, make these feelings go away. I want to feel better. You're ruminating the entire time you're doing yoga. It's doing more harm than good. Do you see how we always come back to this, right? Okay. Does anyone ever ruminate about how they can't stop ruminating and then ruminate about how they have zero interest? Yes. So again, another case of irony here. People ruminating about how they ruminate. At some point, we've got to pull back, right? At some point, we've got to hold ourselves accountable and say, wait a minute, there's that temptation to go down that rabbit hole. Not going to do that. Going to focus on this instead and just let those thoughts be there. They're probably going to come and go, but every time they come and go and you're tempted to go down the rabbit hole, it's nope, not going to do that. I accept it for what it is, right? At some point, you hold yourself accountable for that. But yeah, you can ruminate about anything. Naturally, you'll want to do more exposures because you're not ruminating. Brilliant. Steph quoted me there. I've been learning just to tell myself I can do hard things and then leaving it alone, reminding myself of the bluff. That's a good one too, Kate, because again, you're not ruminating. So, but naturally you'll want to do more exposures because you're not ruminating. Why that makes sense, again, is because as you're working on your main problem, which is your rumination, I promise that is your main problem. As you're working on that and you're living your life, that is the two keys, naturally you're going to start to feel better and you're going to start to heal because you're not doing as much rumination. As you start to feel better and start to heal, you're naturally going to want to do more things and face more things because you feel better. People are trying to go all out with their exposures right away and they're not even working on the mental, and in that case you're not even getting benefits out of your exposures. You're not even getting benefits out of your exposures because the whole time you're doing the exposures you're ruminating. No benefits. Work on this and live your life as normally as you can right now, and naturally you're going to want to face more because now you're really healing. You having this attitude of I need to do 100 exposures, you're not even getting benefits out of those exposures anyway if you're ruminating the whole time. So we need to work on that, right? We need to work on that. Greece with the 10, man. Not only did we hit tip goal in like a record amount of time, but we also just broke tip goal on a 21-day streak. Chad is on fire tonight, and honestly, I'm running out of oxygen, but I'm trying. If I randomly hit the floor, I'll get back up in a second. I messed up my explanation. This is a tip note. I messed up my explanation, so I guess I'll just throw in a tip for now. I think I got what you were saying, Grease. It's all good, dude. Thank you for the $10 tip, man. I really appreciate it. Ruminating is torture. It is torture, but it's a self-inflicted torture. You can even ruminate about ruminating. Yes. At some point, you got to see the temptation to ruminate over a thought, feeling, life situation and reject it. Right? Accept that the thought, feeling, and life situation is there, but see the temptation to ruminate and say, I want better. I'm not giving in to the obsession. It is what it is. I accept that thought, feeling, or life situation. I'm not going to rehearse it over and over again. You could have a feeling of fear, and then instead of saying I'm feeling fear, it'll pass, you start saying I'm afraid. What am I afraid of? Maybe I'm afraid of everything. See how you give into the temptation there within a split second? That's got to stop, right? But I agree with you, gamer, 110%. All right, guys, I'm going to go get something to drink and smoke, take a couple drags off a cigarette because I've been going nonstop. Give me just a second. I'll be right back, lovelies. Whoa, we're back. Anytime I take a quick break to smoke a cigarette during a stream, I smoke it so quickly that I get a head change, and I haven't experienced that since like middle school. Who is still with us? What's up, guys? That's how you fall deeper and deeper until you're literally drowning. It's a fucked up cycle. It's a fucked up cycle that is self-inflicted. Never forget the self-inflicted part. If you forget the self-inflicted part, you will lose all accountability. You will lose basically all hope, because you start to truly believe that there's nothing you can do about it, when actually it's completely in your hands, whether you give in to the temptation to worry over thoughts, feelings, life situations. Hello, Northern Girl. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? The amazing thing is that everyone here is perfectly capable of resisting temptation, right? It's not some monster we're victim to. Exactly. There's a tons of temptation in life, and that's a skill that you can learn, right? It's a skill that you need to learn, whether we're talking about anxiety or not. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. Wonder Bro, I find it now that my big scary symptoms don't scare me as much anymore. Progress, that's great. They broke down into a bunch of little variations of symptoms in smaller, less intense waves. Absolute progress. Keep going. Keep saying no to that temptation to fight with your thoughts, feelings, and life situations mentally, right? Is this stream getting saved? 110%. Everybody's a little paranoid because we had a stream that didn't get saved a few days ago. That rarely ever happens. The reason that stream did not get uploaded or saved is because I watched it back and my mic was cutting out way more than I thought it was, and I just wasn't happy with the quality of the stream. And anytime I'm not happy with the quality, I don't upload it. But this stream, I'm very much happy with the quality of the stream. It'll 100% get uploaded. Yes, the quieter my mind is, the more I can get done and enjoy my day. Now, here's the thing. The mind will only get quieter as you resist the temptation to ruminate, right? So don't ask for a quiet mind, but understand that a quiet mind will kind of happen naturally as a side effect of resisting temptation to ruminate, which means when these passing thoughts come in, these sticky thoughts, these feelings, these life situations, and you're tempted to ruminate and obsess, instead you drop back and you say, there's that temptation to obsess about that. I accept it, and you move on. You rinse and repeat that. You're going to have to do that a lot. It takes dedication. You are breaking an addiction. As a consequence of that, you'll experience a more quiet mind. In time, this is not an instant thing. So thank you for that comment. Very, very good comment. Welcome to the stream. I'm in a snag in my relationship, and I don't want to say if it's being saved, so I guess I'll just have to accept it. Yeah, the stream is being uploaded, so if you don't want to put any of your personal biz out there, then probably wouldn't do it here, because this stream's definitely getting uploaded. 99% of the streams get uploaded, so all I know is maybe join us on the Discord. Maybe you can talk more privately over there. I don't really know. But yeah, if you don't want it out there on the internet, I wouldn't say it here. How are you doing tonight, Northern Girl? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fantastic. Guys, one thing I just want to elaborate on really quickly is accountability. I know I did a whole stream on this already like yesterday, but it's just so important, man. You got to realize that you are doing a lot of rumination. Upgrade J, what is up, dude? A lot of rumination, guys. You got to be accountable for it. You got to hold yourself accountable and be responsible. My thoughts seem to race faster at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. That's common. I'm really struggling at night. I've been following your channel, and you've helped me get through the day and accept the anxiety, but at night I can't get over it. I'm assuming that's what you meant. First of all, congrats on the progress, dude. Congrats on the progress. That is absolutely a step in the right direction. You are clearly healing and making progress. At night, this is going to be a perfect opportunity as you're laying there in bed to work on not giving in to the temptation to ruminate, right? We'll tie it back into the point of the stream here. If you're laying there just rolling around your bed and you can't sleep, don't try to force it. Get up, live your life, which I'm assuming you already do that, right? But when it does come time to try to sleep again, or maybe you're just talking about night in general, maybe it's not when you try to sleep, this is a perfect opportunity for you to practice resisting the temptation to ruminate. You're going to have temptations. Your mind is going to send you tempting thoughts to ruminate over, tempting feelings, tempting life situation thoughts to ruminate over, and that's when you step in and you say, hey, I see the temptation. There it is. I want to ruminate about that. I'm not going to do that. So that is my advice to you. Ties in nicely to the point of the stream. But yeah, congrats on the progress. And understand, just because you're having some difficulties, that doesn't mean anything. This is a learning experience. It's a process, right? It's a process. I write all the thoughts down. That helps. It helps if there's no rumination after the fact, right? So I could see how that would be helpful if, let's say, which a lot of people get so many intrusive thoughts that you'd probably write a novel by the end of the day. But let's say it works for you, right? I have no anything bad to say about that. If it works for you, it works for you. I don't care. As long as there's no rumination that follows. As long as there's no rumination that follows, I don't care. I don't care. So that's my main thing. For some people that might be beneficial, for some people not. Kate just said I was doing that and she was told to stop. It actually helps her more to simply dismiss the temptation to ruminate, right, than to write them down. So that's the thing for me, though. I'm on the fence. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with either one of you. As long as your rumination does not follow, I don't care. If you write the thought down, right, and then you don't ruminate and you put it away and you move on, great, you scored a point. If you write the thought down and you sit there and ruminate on it while you're writing it down or after you've wrote it down, then you're just wasting ink and paper. You're just wasting ink and paper, right? I did a success journal a few months ago. When it comes to journaling, the type of journals is what I'm concerned about. Do you see how I'm only concerned about whether or not you're ruminating? The type of journals is what I'm concerned about. Is it a success journal? Is it accomplishments journal? Then perfect. If it is a rumination journal, throw it in the trash, light it on fire, do it outside so you don't burn your house down. Actually, don't play with fire, period. Just get rid of the journal. If it doesn't involve rumination, I don't care what you're really doing. I really don't care. If you are not ruminating over your thoughts, feelings, and life situations, when you are tempted to do so, you are acknowledging the thoughts, feelings, situations, and you're saying, I'm not going to ruminate about that. It is what it is, or whatever your accepting inner voice is, and you score a point, and then you keep doing that, rinse and repeat. You're going to have to do it a lot. If that's what you're doing, I don't care about your specific, particular, personal techniques. Do not care, right? As long as the rumination is coming to an end at some point. Let's see. I write the thought down and use it in the bathroom and flush it. There you go. There you go, Jesse. Drop a like and a sub. Yes, I'd really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe. Drop a like if you haven't liked the stream yet. It really does help the channel grow. Thank you guys for the 60 on the tip goal tonight. You guys are fucking awesome. Also, you'll notice I've been ending the streams a little bit before an hour. Literally like only about 10 minutes before an hour, 5 minutes before an hour. I am doing that on purpose. That is because we are getting a lot of new people from other platforms over on our YouTube channel since I've been on TikTok. I don't want people to see that hour-long counter and be intimidated, especially those people who do not know yet that we cover the point of the stream within 20 minutes. And the rest of the time we just hang out and answer questions. People who do not know that are probably going to be very intimidated to click on an hour-long stream. That is why I've been ending the streams right before an hour, like 10 minutes before an hour. So just in case anybody was wondering, I know it's not a huge significant amount of time difference, 10 minutes, but to an anxious mind, when you look at the screen and you see that big long 1 hour stamp versus like 50 minutes or something, subconsciously you're going to be more likely to put up with the 50 minutes, right? So that is on purpose. Accomplishment list do help when I'm in a setback. I see during my last setback I continue to live life despite the feelings. I remember I can do it again, and this time you're doing it with less rumination. Now that is what you were missing. That is what you were missing. Louise says, Wonder Bro, what's the difference between breaking a bad habit and building new brain pathways by not obsessing? There is no difference. So as you're building new habits in your life, you are building new brain pathways. As you are focusing on not giving in to the temptation to ruminate over an intrusive thought, you are now programming your brain with new pathways to perform like that more likely in the future. That's why it becomes easier to do the practice as you build new pathways. So there is no difference between breaking a bad habit and building new brain pathways. If you're breaking a bad habit, you're building a good habit in its place, and therefore you are building new brain pathways. There is no difference between the two. It's all brain related. I do like victory journals. I like those. Just write your accomplishments. If you're going to use your mind to think about something, think about your accomplishments, right? No issues. I have no problems or issues with that whatsoever. No problems. We're gonna need you for that 10 minutes. I understand, Kate. I understand. I'm really pumped about your PC build. It's looking awesome. I can't wait. Can't wait. You're just waiting on the SSD, right? It's supposed to come in tomorrow, I think you said? That must be so exciting. I remember building my first PC. It's quite the task. It's pretty intimidating, but from everything I've seen of your computer, it looks like it's coming along great. I don't think you'll have any issues. If you do, we'll help you out. I have an idea. I'll write my intrusive thoughts on paper, put the paper in a box, and put the box in the closet. Once I calm down, I can read it if I choose to. No, just throw the box away. You don't need to go back and ruminate on them. You don't need to revisit. You don't need to revisit. Just if you're going to write your thoughts on paper and put them in a box, then throw the paper out the window. Aim for the nearest trash can. All right, you guys. Beautiful, beautiful people. I think we're out of questions. I think we're all caught up. Thank you guys so much, man, for being here. I really, really appreciate it. We have had an awesome stream tonight. You guys are fantastic. You guys are amazing. You are just the most lovely group of people. I can't thank you enough for the support. Like I said, without my supporters, what would this stream be? We definitely wouldn't be able to do this full time without my supporters. So thank you guys so much. Not only are you helping me out, you're helping everyone out. You are the reason we can do this full time. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Check me out on TikTok, Vacate Fear. We're doing regular TikToks over there now. I want to hit that 1K so bad, man. It's just been a loving community over there as well. But thank you guys for everything. Thank you for watching. You've still got a couple minutes, man. A couple minutes to leave a like if you haven't already. Push that thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Share the word, man. Let's continue to help people. Let's continue to heal people. Continue to help people upgrade and level up their mental health. Until next time, as always, stay awesome. Hey, also, it's just such a great stream, positive stream tonight with just so many good vibes. We're going to listen to our song, so stay tuned for that.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die, yeah. Did it die. Did it die. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die. Wait. Did it die. Wait. Did it die? Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict. I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting. Don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored. Careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No. Did it die? Wait. Did it die?